lying to us and to the American people. That is what is happening here. There is no intelligence. I want to be really clear. There's no intelligence that shows an imminent threat to Americans or the American people from Iran. Now, Iran is a rogue terrorist regime. That is true. But there has to be an imminent threat to us for the president to unilaterally conduct military action without congressional debate and without congressional authorization. And the reason why congressional involvement is important here is because that is the accountability mechanism. That's the accountability mechanism to make sure that we don't have a president that will get us into a quagmire without the consent of the American people, because it's the American people that have to do the fighting and the dying and the financing of it. And they're just bypassing this whole process, and they're lying to us about it, right? The analysis doesn't begin and end with, is Iran bad, right? Iran is bad. The regime is bad. There's no doubt about it. But the Taliban was also bad. ISIS is also bad. Saddam Hussein was also bad. And we screwed up those conflicts in a pretty big way. So this has to be course corrected, and it has to be corrected immediately.
Yeah, this is not, I really don't know where we're going with this. Hey, what's going on, good people? I know I'm coming to you guys. It's evening. Good evening to everybody. First of all, let me say that it's 7:24 p.m. Eastern time. And we got to get down to what's going on with this whole Iran conflict. Like, what is the purpose of this? Where are we right now? Like, literally, what is happening? So all today, I was doing a little bit of research, and I was trying to figure out, like, why are we in Iran? Why are bodies dropping? Why are we spending money that we obviously don't have, with a almost $40 trillion deficit, to be over in this other country to fight? Now, on the surface, they're saying they wanted Iran to stop making these nuclear weapons, right? You know, there was some treaty that got broken. They had to stop making the nuclear weapons. But that's not what I think is going on. What I think is happening is that we are in Iran basically fighting for Israel for whatever reason. And I'm not going to even say for whatever reason, but it's just mighty funny to me that you had all the Epstein Files come out. And it's looking like Epstein was, in fact, an agent for the Mossad. And with these files being released, and with Epstein having so much information on people and so many videos, now these videos, Israel has them. And I think we're being controlled. I think we're puppets. So I just really want to break this down about why, what's really going on with this whole Israel thing. And I did some research here, and we're going to go over like the pros, the cons, and the whole objective of this thing, because I don't get it. Now, of course, when you spend this kind of money, it's definitely about oil. It's about resources. And one of the main things with Iran is the Strait of Hormuz, which 20% of the world's oil goes through this strait to supply the earth with energy. And I'm guessing we want to take control of that. You want to keep the oil going. You want to keep it flowing. However, this is not looking good, because just recently, China and Russia have said, no, this isn't right what's going on. Now they've decided to take a stance. And it's looking like we are probably on the brink of World War III. I don't know. I could be wrong. I pray I'm wrong. But this is this is where we're at right now. And it's weird. And there will be no win if we go out, if there's a nuclear war. We will all be wiped off the face of the earth. So this whole thing to me seems to be somewhat silly. I don't know. Russia and China sitting aside, they're not saying anything, but now they just said something. So I don't know. I looked up some stuff here, and we're going to go over. So the current conflict involving Iran as of March 3rd, 2026 is an ongoing war that began on February 28, 2026, with large-scale joint U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iranian targets. This includes military installations, nuclear-related facilities, missile facilities, naval assets, and leadership compounds. The strikes took out Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, and other top officials, triggering Iranian retaliatory missile and drone attacks on U.S. bases, Gulf bases like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, UAE, Bahrain, and other regional targets. The conflict has widened, affecting shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, closing some U.S. embassies, and causing civilian and military casualties on multiple sides. Now, the objectives of the conflict of this thing is primarily from the United States and the Israeli perspective. These are the stated goals of this attack. They want to prevent Iran from acquiring or developing nuclear weapons, destroying remaining nuclear capabilities and infrastructure, eliminating Iran's ballistic missile threats and Navy to secure regional shipping lanes. So they blew up all of Iran's ships, degrading Iran's support for proxy groups like Hezbollah, Houthis, and others, and its overall military power, advancing broader U.S. national interests, including regime change, or forcing a major shift in Iran's government. Trump has referenced this, though some officials emphasize it's not full nation building. The aim appears to be decapitating leadership and creating conditions for a less hostile regime for a New Deal. And Iran views it as an unprovoked act of war and aggression, retaliating to defend sovereignty and disrupt opponents. So there are pros and cons in the conflict. And this is subjective, and it depends on like perspectives. Like the pros, they want to neutralize long-term threats from Iran's nuclear program. So it was that whole big thing with that Iran deal. I don't know if y'all remember that with Obama and the whole Iran deal to get them. And it looked like they had kind of ceased making nuclear weapons. However, it's a thing of how does the U.S. It's almost like I'm in my neighborhood. It's five of us in the neighborhood. I got a gun. You got a gun. The other neighbor got a gun. But the one down the street, we like, no, he can't have no gun. He cannot have a gun. So I found out he in his house making guns. I'm like, hey, man, you got to stop making them guns because the only people that can have a gun is us. So I kick his door in and we begin to fight. However, I live way far from him, but my neighbor who lives next door to him told me to go over there and fight him, which I believe, Israel has a lot to do with this. And then y'all can chime in too. I just wanted to do this. I guess I'm a newsman today, but this is very, very weird, and I don't know where it's going. So the pros of this mission, if it's carried out, it could neutralize. They're saying it could neutralize long-term threats from Iran's nuclear program and missiles. Weaken Iran's proxy network, reducing terrorism and instability in places like Lebanon, Yemen, Iraq, and Gaza. None of these places I've been to, and as American, I don't know what this has to do with me. How does this hurt me? As Americans, we are protected by the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. What does this have to do with us? When the last time you heard of a person taking a trip to Gaza? But anyway, might create an opening for regime change or more moderate government in Iran benefiting regional stability and human rights. Secures key oil routes like the Strait of Hormuz. And that pretty much, I guess, securing that route or maybe the U.S. and Israel will own that route and we can make some money from it. This is just, I just don't understand, Now, the cons of this, we're looking at massive civilian casualties in Iran, reports of hundreds of thousands dead, and regional escalation, attacks on Gulf states, potential wider war involving Hezbollah or others, severe economic fallout, oil prices spiking, global markets slumping, disrupted shipping and higher energy costs worldwide, risk of prolonged insurgency, chaos in Iran post-leadership vacuum, or a worse hardline successor, heightened terrorism risk, Iran's proxies, or asymmetric attacks on U.S. interests globally. Strains, alliances, humanitarian crisis, and potential for miscalculation leading to even larger conflict. Whew. I don't know. I just pray for us because it really seems like we in trouble. And a lot of the economists and forecasters saying that this might be a fight we won't win. It's like and even though we've wiped out a lot of their communications, it's been swift. We have lost some bodies. However, they're saying now that they didn't know that Iran would attack so swiftly. So let's look at some stuff. I'll pull some stuff up real quick. We could take a look at this. Let me take a look at this here. Let me see what they got to say.
They are lying to us and to the American people. That is what is happening here. There is no intelligence. I'm going to be really clear. There's no intelligence that shows an imminent threat to Americans or the American people from Iran. Now, Iran is a rogue terrorist regime. That is true. But there has to be an imminent threat to us for the president to unilaterally conduct military action without congressional debate and without congressional authorization. And the reason why congressional involvement is important here is because that is the accountability mechanism. That's the accountability mechanism to make sure that we don't have a president that will get us into a quagmire without the consent of the American people, because it's the American people that have to do the fighting and the dying and the financing of it. And they're just bypassing this whole process, and they're lying to us about it, right? The analysis doesn't begin and end with, is Iran bad, right? Iran is bad. The regime is bad. There's no doubt about it. But the Taliban was also bad. ISIS is also bad. Saddam Hussein was also bad. And we screwed up those conflicts in a pretty big way. So this has to be course corrected, and it has to be corrected immediately.
Yeah, this is not, I really don't know where we're going with this. I would have to agree with this man on CNN. What is happening? What is happening? It's a total breakdown. We're just going in, shooting the guns, taking people out. I really don't get it. I don't get it. And I have some more that I want to look at too. Now, this is ruthless.
That's why we needed to get involved.
I guess they're kind of lying or something about why we're even over there.
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, you're statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked
Okay.
a question.
No, were you the one that, because somebody asked me a question yesterday, did we go in because of Israel? And I said, you were asking me that follow-up. And I said, no. I told you this had to happen anyway. The president made a decision, and the decision he made was that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ballistic missile program, that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ability to conduct these attacks. That decision had been made. The president systematically made a decision to systematically destroy this terroristic capability that they had, and we carried that out. I was very clear in that answer. This was a question of timing, of why this had to happen as a joint operation, not the question of the intent. Once the president made a decision that negotiations were not going to work, that they were playing us on the negotiations, and that this was a threat that was untenable, the decision was made to strike them. That's what I said yesterday, and you guys need to play it. And if you're going to play these statements, you need to play the whole statement, not clip it to reach a narrative that you want to do, all right?
It's like they all like, I don't even know, what did Iran do? Didn't they agree to sanctions? Like, do you just go over there and we just go kick the door in? What is... Let's see what Tucker Carlson has to say. I think Tucker Carlson, you know, he's says to be a trusted source. Let's see what he has to say, y'all.
How did this tiny country convince the world's great superpower with the greatest military in history to do its bidding in a way that was going to hurt it? The most obvious answer is because Bibi told the president of the United States, you can join me or not, but I'm going. And at that point, you really only have two choices: get on board or tell Israel no. And if they did it, that would not protect us, because there are hundreds of thousands of Americans in the Middle East, and they're also the world's most important energy infrastructure. Now, of course, there's a third theoretical option. You say no, and if you do it, we're going to cut off aid. But that was not even on the table. The last president to do that was John F. Kennedy in 1962, when he got in a dispute with the founding prime minister of Israel, David Ben-Gurion, over Israel's nuclear program at Dimona. And President Kennedy said, no, can't keep testing, and I'm demanding inspections. And of course, he was not able to make good on those promises because he was killed. The truth is, and this is hard to say as a proud American, but the United States didn't make the decision here. Benjamin Netanyahu did.
Yeah, and I believe that. It's like Netanyahu is our president. And it's all, to me, going back to these Epstein files. Epstein was a Mossad agent. He got all these people on the books. He got recordings. They got film. They got tape. They got everything. They just got everything. And this guy, Epstein, who courted these billionaires, who would have these people come to the house, and I think I said this yesterday, but this is how this would work. You know, you go to Epstein to get some money or whatever, get whatever you need. Epstein is sitting there with a robe on. He says, hey, I'm about to get a massage. Would you like a massage? You go, you know what? Yeah, I'm a little tight. I want a massage. And you walk in there, and there's a young lady in there that's giving massages. You both get the massage. He leaves. You get your massage, and maybe the young lady, you know, tops you up, whatever. Okay? Now, what ends up happening, and where the blackmail and extortion was coming in on these guys, is you get a call from Epstein, right? Epstein will call you, hey, Bill, you're not going to believe this. Because you remember you came over to get that massage? And Bill goes, yeah, I do. Yeah, dude, somehow that girl had a camera and she was filming you, and she has it on. You're like, what? And by the way, turns out that this girl was only 15. I thought she was 18. Now you're flustered. Your blood pressure drops. You're like, oh my God. But then Epstein goes, hey, but it's okay, because I can help you. I can help this go away. So he becomes, in a sense, your fixer, and then at the same time extorts you. Now they have all this information. They just have everything. They got the money. They got the the fuel, they got everything. And even when you think about it, right? Here's something deep. You know they removed that $7,500 EV credit. We also know that Elon stopped making the Model S, which is what I have, and the Model X because they took away the credit. Now, why did they take away that credit? Why are we trying to push back the hands of time for us to still be driving gas cars? Because if you drive an EV, you just know that EVs are far more efficient and they're just better. The newer EV, I got an old model Tesla, but these newer EVs are great. They're terrific cars. You don't have to go get an oil change. You don't have to go get gas and fuel. Right? Now, if Israel controls the fuel, he got on the phone call. Hey, you need to get rid of this EV credit. What is this? Why is America going to EVs? We need somebody to sell this oil and gas to. So you cut that. You remove the incentives for EVs. And it doesn't matter because more and more people are going to drive EVs. They're just a smarter car. They're just smarter. They're smarter. You don't have transmission fluid and all that stupid shit you got to flush. It's a simple car, like having a go-kart, but it's just smart. It got all the computers in it. It can drive you. Why wouldn't you want an EV? Why wouldn't you? But now they're trying to mess up infrastructure because what was happening was this. This is what was going to happen. There was a time before we had refrigeration where salt was a commodity. Salt was a very, very expensive commodity like oil. And salt was very, very expensive because you had to use that salt as a preservative to save your food before refrigeration. Once we got refrigerators, the value of salt dropped to where you get table salt for relatively cheap. And that's what's going to happen with gas and oil as we increase the amount of EVs we ride. We should no longer even be dependent on foreign entities for our fuel and energy. We shouldn't even care. We should move on, give as many incentives as you can for EV. Let's push the EVs. Let's fix the power grid. Let's move on into the future. I don't even, with EVs now, if you got like a Ferrari, a Lambo, that doesn't excite me because I look at it's like stupid to me. Those gas cars look stupid to me because I'm like, it doesn't drive itself. It can't do nothing. What is it supposed to just look pretty? I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to put gas in this. Like, it just, they look stupid at this point. So we need to be really moving toward the future, but we can't because in America, we're just puppets. That's what this whole conflict is showing, that our whole system is compromised. And we're just puppets, and Israel has his hand up a lot of our high officials' backs. Now, if you have some information and you disagree, and this is just me talking, I could be totally off base, but if you disagree, let me know. Chime in. Educate me on what's going on. Because I don't understand. We were doing good, economy, not doing the best. But now you're trying to, I don't know, hit a reset button or something. It's very, very strange. And also, too, the scary part is that China has just said no. China and Russia have joined in, and they like, no, we're not playing this shit. Like, that China and Russia are like, no. Y'all cannot keep doing this. And let me find that. Let me see. I don't think that's the latest. Maybe there was misinformation. Okay, this just came in.
Sidelines monitoring everything there.
Let's take a look at this. Yeah, and the economy is tanking and shit. Let me see.
What about China's ability to impact outcomes in the Straits of Hormuz with what is now the government of Iran and then 50% of their oil on the other side waiting to get through?
Well, China and Russia are sitting on the sidelines monitoring everything. They're in close touch with the government. They're providing satellite intelligence, which accounts for some of the tremendous successes, particularly in Israel and on our U.S. bases. All of our bases have been destroyed. Our harbor installations are destroyed. We're actually having to fall back on India and Indian ports, which are less than ideal. That's what the Navy says. And I think Iran, much to our disappointment, is faring very, very well. The question is, how long can we keep this up? I think logistics is the vulnerable part of this entire operation. Remember, you got to go back and reload. You've got to fly things in. You've got to sail in. Iran is a continental power, 93 million people, the size of Western Europe. Both China and Russia are continental powers. They don't have supply chain problems. Their manufacturing capabilities are intact. Right now, the missile cities that underlie all of Iran's provinces are untouched, and they have an inexhaustible supply of missiles. I think this is going to go on for some time, and the question is, when does Israel step up and say they've had enough? We went through that before during the 12-day war. When do they say this is too much? When do they say if this doesn't stop, we use a nuclear weapon? That's what I would be concerned about, and that's where President Trump, who really doesn't appear to be in charge, Mr. Netanyahu does, has got to be prepared to step in and say, no, there will be no use of nuclear weapons. That's what I worry about.
Yeah, guys, as we can see. What's up, Me So Blessed? Sorry, this was late because I was tired. I've been up. I ain't really been sleeping. But as we can see, this is not looking good, guys. This is not looking good. But I thought I saw somewhere. Where Russia and China were trying to get involved. Now, let's see what Fox News has to say. Oh, too, guys, and don't forget, I'm going to be live in New York. The City Winery in New York, you get those tickets right here. You could go to LeVarWalker.me or you get the tickets right there by clicking that QR code. We're going to have a good show at the New York City Winery. Let's take a look.
They constantly interrupt the free flow of oil through the Strait. It jacks up prices. It jacks up premiums. It boosts inflation. And China buys all the cheap sanctioned oil. That's not going to happen anymore because what we've done here is now with Venezuela and Iran, we've basically tipped over two petro dictatorships, both proxies of Russia and Iran. It weakens both of those countries. And we now control almost the entire world oil market. And we've kicked out Russia and China from the Middle East, an oil-rich region right in the middle of the world trade from Asia to Europe. That's where all the goods and energy flows. So if this is a successful mission, this is what you call checkmate.
And it's interesting that you
All right, I guess that's the first time I heard it like that. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to happen with this? Where do we go? I mean, women are stuck in Dubai. They over there, they done got their money and slept with the animals or got shitted on or whatever they do over there. But now they're stuck. We got Jennifer Davis. Shout out Jennifer Davis. Jennifer, what are your gas prices out there in DC right now? Could you let us know, please? Because I think in the U.S. right now, we're on some imperialism like we have never seen before. Well, maybe China and Russia they're not intervening. So we'll topple, I guess we'll end up toppling Iran. So right now in DC, gas is $3.99 for mid-grade. $4.09 for premium. I don't want to know what it is in California. What is it in California? Europe has gone up 50% in Europe today. China has robbed its people to prop its government for years now, and they should worry more about that. Ghost cities with millions of unfinished homes. Russia has Ukraine to worry about. I agree. Guys. I really agree. But we got to get to the bottom of this. It's really, really sad. And people are dying. That's the worst part. People, they're sending just regular citizens and Americans over there to die. So, I don't know, y'all. I'm keeping us up to date.
What do we know?
Well, Jessica.
Let me take a look here.
Got a Fox News alert. An official source has confirmed that a suspected Iranian drone has hit a CIA station in Saudi Arabia's capital. Jennifer Griffin is live in Washington. Jennifer, what do we know?
Well, Jessica, we've confirmed with an official source that, in fact, it was an Iranian drone that struck the station, the CIA station in Riyadh. It was part of that U.S. Embassy compound, part of that drone strike last night that led to damage at the embassy. This is certainly a symbolic victory for the IRGC. Nobody was injured. Nobody was at the embassy at the time. The Washington Post was the first to report on the incident, and that it was, in fact, the CIA station that was targeted and hit. But what this indicates is that drones, the Iranian drones, are going to be a big problem. They can take out the missile launchers and even the missile stockpiles, but they have thousands, if not tens of thousands of these drones, and anyone can put them in the back of a truck and fire them. These are really the new suicide bombs of the next phase in the Middle East.
So they flying the drones around. I don't know, y'all. I really don't know.
Against an enemy that wanted to.
Now, this is Netanyahu, our current leader, talking.
I said, Mike, that we are fighting today the battle that the Maccabees fought. They fought for the survival of the Jewish people and the Jewish faith against an enemy that wanted to extinguish us, wipe us out from the face of the earth. We were fighting our battle, but we were also fighting the battle of civilization, because our civilization is based on the Judeo-Christian tradition. And if the Maccabees had failed, there'd be no Judaism, there would be no Judeo-Christian civilization. There would be no Maccabees. There would be no United States, there wouldn't be the civilization of freedom, the respect for our common traditions, our common values. All of that would not happen if it weren't for those 5 brave brothers. They actually made the whole difference. So that spirit animates these brave soldiers that are here today and their comrades who are fighting in Gaza or in Lebanon or in Iran, wherever is necessary to not only preserve the Jewish nation and the Jewish state, but preserve civilization against the barbarians. The barbarians are out there. They did a horrible thing to us on October 7th. They'll never do it again. But they're doing it against Jews in Sydney and Jews elsewhere in America and elsewhere. This is our common battle against the barbarians. We have won it here, we're winning it here, we'll win it everywhere. חג שמח, חג חנוכה שמח לכולכם. תודה רבה לכם. תודה רבה.
Well, guys, I don't know. Y'all. What we gonna do, y'all? We got to figure this out as a community. I need the chat to chime in. What do we do, y'all? All right, let's see what the commander from CENTCOM has to say. This is one of the
Here to provide you an
operators.
update on Operation.
This is called Operation Epic Fury. And then you don't even know who to believe in none of this, man.
Good afternoon. I'm Admiral Brad Cooper, the commander of United States Central Command. In this capacity, I lead U.S. military forces in the Middle East. I'm here to provide you an update on Operation Epic Fury, now in our 4th day of execution. First, I'd like to express my deepest condolences to the families and teammates of the extraordinary Americans who've been killed in action. And I'd also like to extend our prayers for a speedy recovery to the wounded. Yesterday, you heard from Secretary Hegseth and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Today, I'd like to give you an operational update on where we are and provide you with some key facts. By order of the President of the United States and the Secretary of War, our military in the Middle East is undertaking an unprecedented operation to eliminate Iran's ability to threaten Americans, as they've been doing for nearly half a century. Having spent more than 36 years in the military, I could not be prouder of America's sons and daughters in uniform who are answering the call. More than 50,000 troops, 200 fighters, 2 aircraft carriers, and bombers from the United States are participating in this operation, and more capability is on the way. These forces bring a massive amount of firepower, representing the largest buildup by the U.S.
When were we being threatened by Iran, bro? Can somebody Tell me when was Iran threatening us? What about the word that Operation Epstein Files told the regular troops that Trump was anointed by Jesus and they are trying to invoke Armageddon? Bruh, I don't know, man.
In the Middle East in a generation. In the opening hours of Operation Epic Fury, U.S. Central Command forces, together with Israel, delivered overwhelming and unprecedented strikes into Iran. Many of you may remember the shock and awe strikes of 2003. The first 24 hours of this operation were nearly double the scale, and we continue with 24/7 strikes into Iran from seabed to space and cyberspace. Now, we're less than 100 hours into this operation, and we've already struck nearly 2,000 targets with more than 2,000 munitions. We have severely degraded Iran's air defenses and destroyed hundreds of Iran's ballistic missiles, launchers, and drones. And in simple terms, we're focused on shooting all the things that can shoot at us. Our B-2 bombers and B-1 bombers have executed uncontested surgical strikes against multiple missile facilities deep inside Iran. And then just last night, a B-52 bomber force struck ballistic missile and command and control posts. We are also sinking the Iranian Navy, the entire Navy. Thus far, we've destroyed 17 Iranian ships, including the most operational Iranian submarine that now has a hole in its side. For decades, the Iranian regime has harassed international shipping. Today, there's not a single Iranian ship underway in the Arabian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, or Gulf of Oman, and we will not stop. We will continue to conduct dynamic targeting operations. We're hunting Iran's last remaining mobile ballistic missile launchers to eliminate what I would characterize as their lingering launch capability. Now, in retaliation, the Iranian regime has launched over 500 ballistic missiles and over 2,000 drones. To be clear, Iran is indiscriminately targeting civilians as they launch these missiles and drones. You've seen it on TV. The evidence is crystal clear and overwhelming. Having said this, we are seeing Iran's ability to hit us and our partners is declining, while our combat power, on the other hand, is building. And my overall operational assessment is that we are ahead of our game plan. Along the way, every single branch of our military is achieving unprecedented success. I'll talk about just a few of them. Our naval forces have deployed multiple waves of cruise missiles, obliterating Iranian command and control and air defense capabilities. From 2 aircraft carrier strike groups, we're squeezing Iran from the sea and have them backed into their own ports. U.S. air forces are doing what they do best, executing a high volume of airstrikes right into Iran. Operationally, the 2 most powerful air forces in the world, the U.S. and Israel, are dominating the skies of the world's largest state sponsor of terror. Our U.S. Army soldiers are defending ourselves and our partners, and in a historic first, the U.S. Army fired long-range precision strike missiles called PRISMs in combat, providing an unrivaled deep strike capability. Also for the first time, U.S. Central Command's drone task force, called Task Force Scorpion Strike, launched countless one-way attack drones, achieving massive effects. I'd like to point out these drones were originally an Iranian design. We took them back to America, made them better, and fired them right back at Iran. I just could not be prouder of our men and women in uniform, leveraging innovation to create dilemmas for the enemy. There is no adversary too determined, no mission too difficult for the great soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Guardians, and Coast Guardsmen that make up the most powerful military the world has ever seen. Our military objectives are crystal clear, and our people are executing an immensely complex and historic mission with relentless lethality, conviction, and professionalism. And we've just begun. But I have the utmost confidence that we, alongside our partners, will absolutely achieve our military objectives. To all our warriors, Godspeed. Thanks so much.
Do y'all believe him? Is it that easy? It ain't no way. Hold on. Man, it ain't no way that say no $200. We about to look that up right now. Ain't no way, bro. You just looked up city. No. Let's take a look. I'm going to pull it up and we can look at this together. Let me show y'all something. Now you see here, you probably looked at this one. City Winery. No, that's it. City Winery, LeVar Walker. You buy the tickets right here, bro. Let me see. Yeah, it's a $30 ticket and a $42 ticket, man. You see that? They right there. Y'all pull up on me, man. We here. This is fees included. See, it's a the ticket $25. They got a $5 fee on there. This ticket is $35 with a $7 fee. I don't know what you was looking at, but listen, y'all get these tickets, man. You can see there, it's right there. Y'all go right there to New York City Winery. Come on, let's sell this out. Because I know y'all, I know New York is a big market for me. Like a lot of people from New York watch me and see my videos and stuff. So pull up on me, man. Yeah, pull up. And if any of y'all I watch from New York, look, New York City Winery. See? Look at that. I pulled it right up for everybody. We gonna hang out, Jennifer. I can't wait to come to Arlington. I'm trying to do this, man. Y'all get these tickets before I have to take my ass back to the pharmacy, which I'm trying not to do. Let me see. All right. We done talked about this long enough. I don't know what else to say about it. I've given my thoughts. I believe that we are being controlled by Netanyahu. You know, hopefully everything will work out. We don't go into a full world scale World War III. And maybe gas prices come down. I don't know. All I want to do is just figure this out for you guys. This is something that came across my desk recently. I don't know if y'all know this, but the Atlanta Hawks have decided to do a game, and the game is Magic City Monday. So this is an NBA game, and they want to give a tribute to the very popular strip club in Atlanta at an NBA game. And one of the NBA players has something to say. And I just want to see if y'all agree with what he has to say before I speak on this. So this is Cornette from the Spurs. Let's just see.
During these times, speaking out on social issues as an athlete, it's kind of becoming few and farther between. There's just a lot of volatility, out there. What made you passionate about putting that in writing and standing on your morals?
I really just saw the statement last week and the announcement by the Hawks, and just in terms of the public voice as it pertained to, I feel like it didn't really represent what I know, myself and a lot of others throughout the NBA felt. So I think I did just, want to make sure that part of the discussion is expressed, and it comes with people like criticism and stuff like that, and I think that's part and parcel of why people might be hesitant to do so. But I think actually trying to get the conversation started and able to have is something that's important to be able to try to help ensure that the league is kind of something that everyone is wanting to represent, and an environment that you want to have.
Has the league itself reached out to you, or have you heard from them?
Not really in the aftermath with it. Beforehand, I spoke with some people in the league just to kind of see what the status of it was, to make sure, I was kind of up to date on the situation. But since reaching out,
So what he's talking about basically is he's against the NBA doing a Magic City Monday night at the Hawks arena. A lot of people in the community are pushing back, saying that Magic City is a part of the Atlanta culture. and that is the way of Atlanta, right? But here's the thing, and I don't think people realize this, but you have children that go to these NBA games, right? You know, no matter how you want to look at this shit or how you want to package it, if I had a daughter, she 9 or 10, and we at the game, and I'm coming to see that I bought my tickets and everything, see the game play, and there's a Magic City celebration, and my little girl says, Dad, what's Magic City? How do I explain, oh, Magic City, honey, oh, that's where strippers go. That's where women without fathers go, and they work and they lay on their backs and sell ass and they exploit themselves. Isn't this a terrific celebration? What I'm so shocked about is that people don't see like any slight perversion in this. And like, why aren't black people in a rage about that? And this ain't even no knock to Magic City, because at the end of the day, there's more than Magic City in Atlanta. You got Cheetah, which is a white club. You got the Pink Pony or whatever. So basically, you're just selling black people negative stereotypes, and black people are eating this up as somehow being a part of Atlanta culture. And it's a difference between culture and subculture. Me personally, I'm going to take the side of this does not need to be celebrated in an NBA arena, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're celebrating sex workers. What are we doing? What are we doing? Jennifer, I'm from Chicago, originally south side of Chicago. Thank you for asking. But what are we doing right now? Aren't we kind of lost with that? I don't know what side anybody's on, you know what I mean? But I saw the homie D1, one of my rapping homies, and he was pushing it back. He was like, yo, where are we right now? Is this what you want to portray? This is the image that's no different than the Hawks going Monday night for Dr. Luther King, like Monday night, Dr. King's birthday, we're going to have chicken and watermelon night for the blacks, because this is specifically targeting black people. Specifically. Now, you say you was getting a Baltimore accent. How you get a Baltimore accent? I didn't say two, the bull, two. That's crazy to me. It's just, you know, if they supposed to be they already done changed the game. They want the game. So the NBA to me has done several things. You've already changed the nature and speed of the game, where guys are just standing outside the perimeter taking shots. Nobody drives to the lane. You pay guys through the roof. You give a guy 40, 50 million before he laces his shoes up. You've made the game more international. You want it to be more family friendly, but at the same time, you're going to celebrate a strip club inside of the arena where there are families and children. Make that shit make sense, man. Make it make sense. It's wild to me, man. That's wild. And I don't understand it. And you know what? I want to get back on this Iran conflict, but we don't even know who to believe in this. That's the crazy part. I don't know who to believe.
And it was launched with.
Now this is I don't know her name, but this is another politician talking about this.
I just left a classified briefing on Iran, and here's what I can say. It is so much worse than you thought. You are right to be worried. Trump administration has no plan in Iran. This illegal war is based on lies, and it was launched without any imminent threat to our nation. Donald Trump still hasn't given a single clear reason for this war, and he seems to have no plan for how to end it either. Like a lot of you, I am really angry. I am angry at what Donald Trump is doing, and I feel grief for those already killed in this unnecessary conflict. And I will keep doing everything I can to fight to end this war.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. That's our senator, but I don't know who. Bro, it don't make sense. I don't know why we over there fighting. I really don't know. It's wild to me. And you know they just wasting money. All that damn money you could have been done forgave student loans. You know how much money they spending on this shit to run over there? Let's ask Gemini how much money is being spent per day. Let's ask Gemini. Let's see. Look at this. You say HMH HUD. Well, they done forgave a lot of people's loans. So you gonna forgive some and not forgive the others? They done forgave some of them. So the U.S. military is currently spending an estimated $59.39 million to $60 million a day on sustained operations related to the conflict with Iran known as Operation Epic Fury. However, this figure represents standard daily operational costs. The actual burn rate during active strikes is significantly higher. U.S. spent in the first 24 hours, they spent an estimated $779 million during the opening day of the offensive. The peak was driven by the massive use of munitions, including roughly 200 Tomahawk missiles, totaling $340 million in high-maintenance sorties from B-2 stealth bombers and F-35 fighters. Oh, my gosh. So that means you need to buy stock in Northrop Grumman. Buy you some stock in Northrop. Northrop Grumman stock must be through the roof right now because they make all this shit. Let's see that stock price. Northrop Grumman stock. They down just $8. Did we see a spike? Saw a big spike here. Oh yeah, it did. That thing did jump up. See year to date. Look at that. $768. January 5th, it was just at $611. Look at the money that made. What's Snap? What do you mean get Snap? Get Snap. What's Snap? Tell me what Snap is. I do have hope in our generation. Others coming into power in the boom star. We still have the squad, Gavin Newsom, but we have to have November later. We lose it all. Not hyperbole. Whole wheel. The point I'm making is they already spent almost $1 trillion in Iran, but we got poor people being told what they can buy. Yeah, man. That's true. That's true. They don't want you. You can't even, I don't think that you can get a juice or something on food stamps. He says, no juice. You don't get juice. If you're on stamps, you don't get juice. You must go to work 40 hours a week if you want stamps. If you want to eat, I don't care if they're not hiring. Mm. Oh, man, look at this.
You guys put in the work.
Matthew Knowles got mad because they asked about Tina Knowles as Beyonce was concerned. Let's see.
Flowers. I've said the same thing to Tina Knowles. You guys put in the work, and obviously the talent was there with your kids and your grandkids.
What work did she put in?
In the hair.
Okay,
clothing,
yeah, you're absolutely right. And the styling.
The styling.
The imaging, you're right.
She claimed to have preyed on the name, and different aspects of that.
Sure. Sure.
So, yeah. It's a joint effort.
Let's stop now.
So they asked Matthew Knowles' daddy. Yeah, this live, bro. They asked Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's daddy, what did Tina Knowles do as far as Beyonce is concerned? And this was his response as far as Beyonce's career was concerned. So check it out.
Flowers. I've said the same thing to Tina Knowles. You guys put in the work, and obviously the talent was there with your kids and your grandkids.
What work did she put in?
In the hair.
Okay,
clothing,
yeah, you're absolutely right. And the styling.
The styling.
The imaging, you're right.
She claimed to have preyed on the name, and different aspects of that.
Sure. Sure.
So, yeah. It's a joint effort.
He just asked what work did Tina put in as far as Beyonce, the success of Beyonce's career is concerned. He basically said she was the wife, but he was the mind behind it. He actually, Matthew Knowles is an interesting dude, man, because y'all know he actually he was like a very, very successful salesman or something, and saw his daughter had this talent, started managing her, and even went back to school to get a degree in business for music. Like he a real mogul, man. Like he don't get enough love, I don't think. He don't get enough love.
Thank you. Thank you. Flowers. I've said the same thing to Tina Knowles. You guys put in the work.
I didn't tell no lie though. This is interesting too. Now let's take a look at this. We about to pull up Joy Chavis, who is the baby mama of Bow Wow, Future, and Trevon Diggs.
To manage a business.
And she's saying she's tired, she's tired of dealing with 3 children with 3 different baby daddies. She says she's tired.
Tired, y'all. It's like having 2 kids is one thing. Having 3 is like having 10. The babies is where they at. I need a break. Shy is with her dad. Hendrix is mom. So hard to manage a business and make sure I'm overseeing that Instagram. Someone says stop having them if you're tired. Good one. Shut up. People be tired without kids. What are you talking about?
Oh, poor girl. Such an attractive young lady. I don't damn, you got 3 different baby daddies. That's like she got a little kennel over there. You know, just imagine you got siblings and you sitting over there. Is all y'all sitting over there waiting to get picked up. All y'all got a different daddy. And y'all getting picked up like little puppies. You know how when people go get a puppy out of a litter? That's what's happening. And then they get mad because one daddy got them something, the other daddy didn't get them nothing, and then one daddy spending more time and the other daddy not spending time. Man, damn. A lot of y'all out here a lot of ladies are really mismanaging their box, man. And she can't really blame nobody but herself. Oh, boy. She gonna get another one, too. She's going to get that ain't the last one. It's gonna be two more. Maybe then it'll be the last two, but I think she's gonna get two more. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Look, get them tickets though, man. Let's go. Let's go. New York City. I'm coming. New York City Winery. I'm gonna be in the loft. It's a beautiful establishment, beautiful place. I got a $35 preferred ticket, a VIP ticket for $35, and I got a $25 general admission. Come on, man. Come out. I'm going to give you a good show, too. We going to laugh. You're going to laugh when you come. So pull up on your boy, man. Listen, I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. If this is your first time seeing me, please go subscribe to my YouTube page at LeVar Walker TV, and shout out to everybody over on the YouTube page at LeVar Walker TV. I really appreciate y'all's support from the bottom of my heart, man. So thank you, guys. I'm going to check out. And then, too, y'all, go check out some of my stand-up. I got a lot of stand-up on YouTube. Y'all can see what I really, really do. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Thank you, Frank Frasina. I keep using my voice, keep talking, and I'll be up tomorrow morning. I'm going to try to hit this at about 9 o'clock. We're going to get it in. So thank you, guys. Good night, and God bless.